sharp rally for a topic which is related to UNNJ, but it's also a topic that we see recurring all the time when it comes to misrepresentation or fraud in providing documents for your H-1B cases or OPT, but also for lying to the authorities, including immigration, FBI, or any state department. What are the consequences on that? And you have to be aware of that. The reason I'm bringing this forward is many times people will tend to, as a shortcut, put false documents in their RFEs or when being questions at the immigration. And here we have this article on willful misrepresentation, and also about an applicant may be found inadmissible if she or he obtains a benefit under Immigration and Nationality Act either through fraud or willful misrepresentation. This is I took this pretty much from the USCIS website and the manual guide. And what constitute basically willful misrepresentation, and what constitute fraud. Fraud is basically when you have an intent to deceive the other party and you have knowingly made false representation. And misrepresentation is sometimes kind of ambiguous, because it's like you didn't tell completely the truth or half the truth, or you have kind of misrepresented the kind of twisted the facts to represent your case. In this case, we're going to talk a little bit about the fraud part, because this is what is related very much right now to the situation at UNNJ, and it applies also to other cases. What happened is that whenever the students were at the UNNJ, they were applying for an OPT after they completed. An RFE was issued to them, a request for evidence, and the request for evidence would usually ask for uh, parking tickets, parking receipts, or parking slips, attendance records, and also transcript. And what was happening, it seems like somehow the agents or the schools were providing them with false transcripts, sometimes asking them even to write their own transcript, and parking slips, and even false attendance records. And what happened, many of those students, in order to pass the RFE stage, would file an answer with all those documents duly submitted from the broker or from the school to the USCIS. And people will ask, but why would they ask that? They know full well those were false. Well, the thing is that since the student also knew it was false, that means the student knowingly participated in the scheme of the whole process, and that will become under the representation of fraud. And if you look at the Justice Department publication yesterday, which I have recopied here a little bit from their website, look at some of the complaints. One of the complaints, I will take one, I think, randomly, and this one, if you look at some parts of it, they will mention actually about those documents and how they were obtained. And oftentimes the agents, so-called agents or brokers, will go ahead and make false one and give it to the students. Now the question is, at this point when you answer those RFEs, then you pretty much, if you are a student, you kind of participated knowingly that those tickets and those attendance records or even those transcripts were bogus. Now the question is, how do you defend that? That's a different issue, but they were fraudulent and they will probably amount to fraud. But the truth is that from what I've been gathering as information, many of the students will ask for genuine things, and the school will just or the agent broker from the school will just give them those documents as a matter of passing the RFE test to get either the OPT. And the same has been applying on the H-1B, and there's no H1B so far where this issue has come up, because most I don't know if last year some H1B had those questions, but ultimately we're going to see those documents become a big tool from the Justice Department or even the USCIS to revoke those who have already have the OPT file. Most of them didn't even get a chance to get the OPT, but those who had the H1B cases filed, if they answered with fraudulent documents. This is very important because this rule doesn't apply only to UNNJ, it applies to everybody. Make sure when you're putting documents in your answer RFE or even filing your case, all the documents are genuine and have really been checked that they are genuine. Because if you don't do that, ultimately you will be, they can definitely deny your case or even revoke your case even after approval, based on false representation of material fact with an intent to deceive, and also based on fraud. So you need to be ready for that. So now how this thing is going to affect the UNNJ? Well, we are seeing different categories as I have mentioned before, and what will happen is that for those who have answered those RFEs, they will, USCIS or the government will make the case that they participated in the scheme of the fraud. For those who have refused to answer, and some did, it will be good for them. But the truth is that everything is going to be determined on a case-by-case basis. So I recommend that you check exactly where you stand. Even now you're on an H4 visa or H1B, if these documents have been used, so you need to be ready that there might be some consequences to them. And of course, if you need help, give us a call at 510-742-5887 or visit our website piralilaw.com or attorneyonair.com. Email us at info@piralilaw.com. We will be glad to answer your questions. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, everything I'm telling you today is for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. Thank you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for updates.